A.
Piss take.
Production.
Welcome back to another episode on the Suzuki bike build. This episode I'm going to cover the installation of the adjustable Zeta lowering link. You should try and ride the bike with stock standard setup. Yes, it rides high, but that's the design of the bike. But if you're short like me and you want a little bit of a workaround, I'm going to try use the adjustable Zeta lowering link and lower the bike 10 to 15 millimeters lower, and we'll see how that goes after further testing. But yeah, lowering it to the extreme 30 mil, my recommendation, don't do it. This is the standard Zeta lowering link, and it lowers the bike by 30 millimeter. Way to eliminate this issue is by installing the Zeta adjustable lowering link. Lower the bike a maximum of 15 millimeters. So if I rotate it clockwise, you just pull the machine component out and rotate it clockwise. There is position 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then with the other direction to raise it, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number is only a reference. Height will be differ on each model. Link lever ratio will be changed by changing link rod center distances. Suspension will be stiffer when heightened and softer when lowered. So the issue is with the regular Zeta lowering link that's lowered at around 30 millimeters, the problem is as soon as you lower your bike and having softer springs, any gear on your bike, it's just going to make the bike sag. So, and when the bike sags on the DRZ, you're going to find that your kickstand hits the ground. So you're going to get fatigued trying to put the kickstand down. So what I'm going to do, instead of having it lowered 30 mil at the max, the adjustable Zeta link, let's actually rotate it. Set adjuster from 3 to 7 for lowering the motorcycle. So we're going to put it on position 5. And leave it for the left hand side, standard position, and then I'm going to put it on position 5. In theory, when you put these back to back, don't lose it, it should line up. That's what it's going to look like, 15 millimeters lower from the standard stock height. So just remember that. That's a little neat trick to make sure you got your positions right. After you undo the two nuts, to take the pressure off the two bolts holding the lowering links in, just raise the back rear tyre, a couple of pieces of wood and whatnot you got laying around, just to help you take the bolts out. So you put the aluminium rod in to the edge of the bearing, give it a couple of taps on one side, and then go to the other side, give it a couple of taps, and this work your way. Go to the top, give it a couple of taps, and then to the bottom of the bearing, give it a couple of taps. It does help if someone's on the other side and they can watch the bearing move, because then they can tell you where to give the tap as the bearing moves. Give it a tap on the opposite direction that it's traveling out. So there you go, an aluminium rod, and I've just got bearing grease on that. That's what I use to tap the bearing out. Here's the bearing as it's come out. So a lesson learned, when you back the bolt off, if it catches on the bearing, you can see I damaged the outside lip or the edge of the bearing and those little roller bearings. If I did the dodge and just put the bolt back in, those little roller bearings would eventually fail and they'll just all fall out. Motion Pro make this bearing install tool, and this is how it works. You got the rod, a driver, and you've got your nut and a bearing on the end here. They call it a thrust bearing. Installation, you feed the bearing onto the driver, put it onto the bike, what do you call it, the bike swing arm, put this on the back, and then the nut on the end, and as you tighten this nut on this side, that'll drive the bearing into the swing arm. So that's pretty much essentially how the installation works. Once you get it, the other thing is you still got to get this bearing 2 mil or 3 mil past the lip, and that's another thing that I'll show during the installation. But there you go, that's essentially the Motion Pro bearing install tool, and that's how you use it. BM2015. Make sure that the writing is on the outside edge when it gets compressed into position. The problem is it might not be straight enough. I need to fucking get the chain out of the way. Just have to wind it in a few more mil. Brush that off. Okay, So put this in. Okay. Don't forget to add a little bit of waterproof grease to your bolts before you put them in as well, and the sleeves. Just grease them up a bit. Try and lift it with your fucking left hand. So put your nut on and go from there. Okay, let's tighten her up. I've lowered the bike to position number 4. There's the arrow adjoining the number 4. And just double check that the Zeta link's on the position you want it, position 4, and check the other side before you ride it. Okay, that's good. And the kickstand's not hitting the ground. That concludes the installation of the Zeta adjustable lowering link. Just have this video as a guide. Learn from my mistakes, especially when you back the bolts off. Always take the pressure off the back tyre, lift it up, and grease the bolts. I went with position number 4. It's also the midpoint for lowering. You don't want to go to the extreme side of it. The bike just doesn't handle as well as what it should. It just makes the rear shock too soft when you lower it. That means when you add any bags to your bike, it just squashes the bike down too much, and then the kickstand becomes a problem. But anyway, that's the installation. Hope it helps you guys decide on whether or not to lower your bike. Lessons learned. Thanks for watching.